Hello there, BookTube. How are you doing? This is the I think fourth instalment in my little library tour, or the library tour I'm doing before I move house, and then there'll be another one when I move house and reorganise the books. I'm here in the classic literature at the moment, and let's just jump right in. Please let me know maybe what you've been thinking so far. Whether it's annoying me being behind the camera, if you don't mind, I'm happy to carry on like this. Let's get into these three stacks and try and get through it quite quickly. So, up here we have Silas Marner by George Eliot. I haven't read any George Eliot yet, I think my sister really likes that book, I'll give it a go at some point. Then we have King Solomon's Mind by H. Rider Haggard. I actually haven't read this yet. I think this is one of my wife's books, but I have read... Oh no, actually, I think I have read King Solomon's Mines. Yeah, I've read King Solomon's Mines. I haven't read, is it The Adventures of Alan Quatermain, the sort of sequel? I haven't read that. Then there's The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins, which I loved. I thought this was a brilliant book, sort of early detective novel. Then some more Wilkie Collins. This is The Woman in White, which I love as well. One of my favourite novels. And then another edition of The Woman in White. This is the edition I read when I read it the first time. And I bought this book new, and this was how it looked after the first reading. Totally awfully bent spine, and I think I was taking it on all kind of adventures, so it got really beaten up, which is fine. I don't mind that too much. Then we have Ruth by Elizabeth Gaskell, which I haven't read yet, but I think my wife says it's really good, I do really want to read it at some point. Then we have The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, which, I suppose speaks for itself. It's alright. And then, one of my favourite books of all time, for various reasons, this is Utopia by Thomas More. I just find that the idea of utopia fascinating and problematic, but fascinating. Then we have The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, which, to be honest, I didn't actually love that much, there it is. Then we have Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, which, I should probably reread at some point because I haven't read it for a while. I can't really remember too much about it. Then we have Ivanhoe by Walter Scott, which is really fun. This is the only Walter Scott that I read, but I really enjoyed it. And then we have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Oh, what's this on the top? This is recommended by the Great Books Foundation. So there you go. I would recommend it too. Then we have Notre Dame of Paris by Victor Hugo, which I haven't read. I haven't read any Victor Hugo, to be honest, but there you have it. And then we have The Importance of Being Earnest, which is great. And then right on the bottom here we have a massive, complete Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Let's just get to the table of contents. So we have Little Women, Good Wives, Little Men, and Jo's Boys. The whole lot in there. I think I've only read Little Women and Good Wives, which were okay. Quite enjoyed them. Let's get on to these. I think these are more books that were bought for the display at our wedding a few years ago. So, this is Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell. So that'd be one of my wife's books. Then we have The Count of Monte Cristo in 2 volumes by Alexander Dumas, which I haven't read yet, but yeah, I mean, they're really cool. I think my wife found these in the charity shop, probably long before she met me. Then we have The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, which I haven't read yet, but yeah, nice little edition. And we have Three Men in a Boat by Jerome K. Jerome, which sounds really funny, but I haven't read that yet. Then we have Tales of Mystery by Edgar Allan Poe. I'm sure this is also known as, there we go, it's actually Tales of Mystery and Imagination. It's got a nice little picture of him there. I think this was the first sort of old looking book that I ever bought. I was just amazed that you can get a book that looked like this for not super expensive, but it wasn't in great condition anyway, but there you go. Then a Reader's Digest edition of Huckleberry Finn. Really enjoyed Huckleberry Finn. And then Far From the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy. We've got another edition up here, which is the edition that I read. Here it is. I took it on my travels, so it's a bit beaten up. Then we have another edition of Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell. And then yet another edition of The Woman in White, by Wilkie Collins. Oh, gone out of focus. There we are. The Woman in White, and Villette by Charlotte Bronte. So all in kind of these matching volumes. And then these were definitely, I think, bought as sort of ornamental books for the wedding, and we just kept them. We have Kilbert's Diary. I don't know what that is. We have Goodbye Mr. Chips by James Hilton. And then we have the Creevy Papers. I don't know who wrote that, doesn't say. Let's have a look. Edited by John Gore. I think it's sort of Thomas Creevy's letters and notes, and things like that. That was just put as an ornament, to be honest, and we just kept it for sentimental reasons. Then another copy of Villette by Charlotte Bronte, nice Penguin edition. Then we have Anne Bronte's The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, which I haven't read yet, but would love to. And then we have one edition of, another Jane Eyre. I think, has Jane Eyre come up before? I don't know. Definitely will again. Here it is. Another edition of Jane Eyre, which, again, not too bad for a Wordsworth classic. And here's another Wordsworth classic, which is quite good, as is Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. Love that cover. And we have Dracula by Bram Stoker. I actually don't particularly like this cover. I think it's a bit cheesy, to be honest. And then a few Oxford World classics. So we have Looking Backward 2000 to 1887 by Edward Bellamy, a kind of futuristic utopian narrative. Then we have News from Nowhere by William Morris, which was a response to Bellamy's Looking Backward. It's quite good that they're next to each other. Then we have The Heart of Darkness and Other Tales by Joseph Conrad. And then some sort of Gothic literature. We have Horace Walpole's The Castle of Otranto, with a rather creepy but brilliant painting on the front. And then we have The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Again, really quite like this cover. And then The Mysteries of Udolpho, which, yeah, again, I really love that cover. Just a lovely, I don't know, sort of just feeling to that. You know, I'd love to be sat on that stool looking at that vista. Whoops, there we go, all the books on the floor have gone. Oh well. Then we have Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, which I think is still my favourite Dickens book, but I haven't read tons of Dickens. And then finally, like I've just emptied the whole shelf, we have Bleak House by Charles Dickens, which yeah, I sort of reviewed early this year, read it for the first time back in April, May, somewhere around there. But yeah, there we have it. Yeah, that's all the classics done now, more or less. For the next instalment, I'll be down here looking at some mystery and some sci-fi and some thrillers. Yeah, please yeah, let me know what you thought underneath. Yeah, thank you for watching. Now I'm going to go and tidy all of this up. Alright, bye bye.